Hello, if you are just joining us right now, we are shifting from 1-point perspective into 2-point perspective. Today we are doing an exercise that will look kind of like this when we are finished. Instead of having one vanishing point, we are going to have 2 vanishing points on one horizon line. You can see in this demonstration that we are going to be using colors as well, along with our lines and with a pencil and ruler to create lines converging to one vanishing point on the left side, and then other lines converging to the other vanishing point on the right side. So when you have 2 vanishing points and you use the same system that we did for 1-point perspective but in 2 different directions, you do create that illusion of 3-dimensional forms. So for example, we have a street corner here. You can do a corner of a house or a castle or some type of structure. We'll get to that point for your project soon, but let's go over the fundamentals in our sketchbook. On a new page in our sketchbook, we have flipped it horizontally so we can stretch out this exercise a little bit more. You guys are going to use a sharpened pencil and your grid ruler to start. Make sure that you have your grid ruler flipped forward with the one starting on the top left. And I'm going to place it, and I'm going to make sure it's not diagonal. I'm going to make sure it's straight to the edge of my paper. And we're going to draw a line. Doesn't really matter how long. Maybe I'll do approximately maybe 7 inches, approximately. Kind of floating in the middle of your page. Maybe a little longer if needed. And sitting on that horizon line, we are going to put a left side vanishing point and a right side vanishing point. Right away, I'm going to choose colors, 2 different colors. Students right now have a box of colored pencils at their seats. You can choose 2 different colored pencils to use for this exercise. If you have fancy highlighters or pens, you're welcome to use 2 different colors of those. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use green or one color on the left side, and I'm going to use pink on the other side. With your ruler, you're going to now turn it vertical. And what we're going to do to start, instead of doing a vertical line right down the center, I'm going to actually slide my ruler a little to the left, just to make it a little off center for interest. And I'm going to draw a line. I have the 2 right now. I flipped it so it's 1, 2. That's the line that's on the horizon line. And I'm going to draw a line that's 2 inches above and 2 inches down. So a total of 4 inches, a 4-inch long vertical line splitting here. And if it's like a little off, that's fine. A little longer, a little shorter, that's totally fine. It'll still work. From here, I am going to make almost like a kite shape. So I'm going to, from the top of this line to my left side vanishing point, I'm going to lightly draw, and I did it a little darker for you guys to see, but we're going to draw a line going towards our left side vanishing point on the left side, and then from the bottom of the line also going towards our left side vanishing point. And this is just going to kind of square us up for the beginning structure. Anything that's going away from us in this direction will be converging towards the pink vanishing point. So I'm going to draw a line going in that direction. And then also from the bottom here up towards the pink dot, we have a converging line going in that direction. So again, anything that is, picture this as a corner of a building, anything going down the street, going towards that vanishing point, anything going down the other streets, going towards that vanishing point. But just like hallway drawings, things that are not going away from you will remain straight up and down, parallel to the edge of your paper. So let's go ahead and let's establish a vertical line. I'm going to even use like this line in my ruler to line up with the vertical line I previously placed. And I'm going to draw a vertical line parallel, but within those diagonal lines to show this is the far edge of that building. Now this is going to be the front building. And then over here, I'm just going to do another line. Now I can make it a longer building or like a skinnier building. You can measure it exactly, or we can just eyeball it. And that's one of our buildings there. So with that being said, the top of this building going away from us in this direction will go towards the right side. So I'm using color just on the edge of the building, on the top and bottom. And then anything going down this way will go towards our green vanishing point. We're going to move, so this is our first building, and let's go ahead and lightly erase. We can erase lightly the horizon line just to make it look like a solid building. We can maybe put that line back in there if we're going to do any architectural features that align with it, but for now, let's just kind of eliminate. We're going to do another building to the left. Same thing applies. We are going to have the corner that's closest to us vertical, straight up and down, parallel to our other vertical lines. So that's the front corner. We're going to establish the back edge of the building. Maybe I'll make it a little longer. So that's also vertical and parallel. We know that the top edge of this structure is going towards our left side vanishing point. Bottom edge here is going towards our left side vanishing point. Now it's looking two-dimensional just as a trapezoid right now. To make it look like a form again, we're going to need to establish the lines that are on this side of the building. So the top of this edge is going to converge towards our right side vanishing point. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to find the top edge of this front corner of our far building here. And I'm going to line it up with the pink right side vanishing point. Now I'm not going to draw a line slicing all the way. All I need is a little line right here. But it technically is going angled right exactly towards my pink right side vanishing point. So I'm going to use color to remind myself of what direction that's going. And then we're going to do the same thing for the bottom edge of this building. It's going to go towards our right side vanishing point. Now these two structures are similar in height, even though they're, different on the paper. Illusion-wise, we think these buildings are similar in height. But what if we wanted to do a taller building on the left, or on the right side? So what we're going to do is we are going to make a line that starts at the bottom of the building at the same ground level. But we're going to draw a vertical line that goes up a little higher than the other building. So this system still applies even though the building is taller. So what we're going to do is what I like to do is, since I have this front corner, I like to draw that line, the top of that most recent line we placed, towards the right side vanishing point this way. And then this is going to go towards the left side vanishing point to create that illusion. So top of this building, I'm going to make it longer. And then we do need to establish the far edge. So like, how far does this building go down? I did this top roof first just so that I can have options there. And maybe I'll just do it approximately right here to show the far edge of this building. And then I need the bottom edge down here. Same system, going towards our left side vanishing point in green. You can see that illusion very quickly happening. And to make sure this looks like a solid structure, I'm going to erase some of those extra lines I don't need anymore, which are these converging lines. And I'm going to do that in the same thing on the other side. Then you can see solid three-dimensional structures. Now, as you get fancier with different architectural features, or maybe the sidewalk, this same system applies. So if we were to do, like in this example, you see we have a sidewalk in front of our buildings. You can see how it still happens with the green lines converging towards our left side vanishing point and the pink lines converging towards our right side vanishing point. So if I was to do a sidewalk just like that one I showed you, I would want to maybe continue this a little longer in this direction. Change my ruler towards the pink vanishing point. Extend this a little longer to establish this kind of square of, oops, sorry, it's blurry. Establish a square of the front sidewalk. So then I would want to extend this towards my left side vanishing point, and then go to my right side vanishing point to establish the very front of the curb. So this method, because our vanishing points are pretty close together, things might look a little distorted just with this technique and the fact that these aren't so spread out. But that system works with illusion still. So this is going towards this. This is going towards this. And this also applies for, this is really fun with the sidewalk. So I'm going to go ahead and line up my ruler again with the left side vanishing point, the green one. And I'm going to put my finger on the vanishing point, making sure my ruler is steady. And I'm going to have my ruler then line up so I can make another square in the sidewalk. But as I go down, I'm going to keep pivoting. As I go down, they get a little closer together. They get closer together because they're getting further away, just like our hallway drawings. Anything that is further away and repeating gets closer and closer and closer and closer together. But they're all going towards the left side green vanishing point. If you didn't catch that, don't worry. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Oh, I forgot to make one thing green though. All right, so if you didn't catch the sidewalk part, we're going to repeat it on the opposite side. With my ruler, I'm going to line up now with the right side pink vanishing point. And I have this line established here already. I'll go over that in pink in a moment. But then I'm going to line it up. You see I have this line here. And I'm going to do the same thing I just did. I'm going to put my finger where that vanishing point is to make sure my ruler is steady. I'm going to do one sidewalk square there. I'm going to do another one about right here, making sure it's lined up well. And as it goes further down the street, they're going to get closer together, but still angled towards that right side vanishing point. So when you're doing this method, it's kind of like a rhythm. And you do this repetition, but variation of it to create rhythm. So that's just with the basic sidewalk. And it still applies, like if it's a curb, it will go straight down. That'll go towards that vanishing point and that vanishing point to create that edge. But I want to get to the last few parts of this video, which is in this demo, the adding windows and adding doors. Same principle and system applies. So if I was to add a door down here, like this example, you can see how the top of the door, now it happens to sit on pretty close to the horizon line where it was, but it goes towards my right side vanishing point. The sides of this doorway are going to be vertical, straight up and down, because they're not going away from us in any way. Same with the inside of the doorway. But things that are slightly going away from us, like this edge here, is going towards the right side vanishing point. And then this set edge, which is going away from us and slightly, is going to go towards the other vanishing point. So from that perspective, we can visibly only see this inner edge and this bottom edge of the doorway. So we'll do this together. We're going to start out with establishing how tall we want that door to be. And I'm going to make it actually a little, just for variety, I'm going to do it a little lower than the horizon line, but it's going towards my right side vanishing point. So I lined up my ruler to the pink side, and I just drew a line to establish where I want that floor, or where the top of the door will be. With my ruler, I'm going to draw then a vertical line. And I'm using the grid to line up with any previous lines. And I'm going to do another second vertical line to establish the outer edges of the door. Now remember, this is the only thing going towards our right vanishing point right now. So I put a little pink line there. But to make it look not like a paper door, very flat, we're going to give it more of an edge. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to find this corner down here. And I'm going to use my ruler now, this time going towards my left side green vanishing point. And I'm going to go as far as I want it to go in. If I want it to be a hallway, I would go all the way to the other edge. But I'm going to make it just a little inner indent there with green. As however far or deep I want it to be, and then wherever I want that edge to be, I'll go straight up there. And then where that inner edge is there, I'm going to line up with my right side vanishing point. So you kind of have to remember, okay, anything going in this direction has to go towards that vanishing point, while anything going in the other direction goes towards the other vanishing point. So even the slightest architectural details. So if I was to add, you know, a window in there, same thing applies. This would go towards pink and pink, but this would be straight up and down. Okay. Windows would be the same thing if I was to do them on the top floor, like you see here. These go towards the right side vanishing point, the top and the bottom of the window. But the indent going into that windowsill will be going towards the left side vanishing point, and then you can have vertical, and then this little edge also goes towards the right side vanishing point. So this is going to be the same. Now notice how with this previous exercise that I've done, the width of the window gets a little closer together in this further window. We know in our brain they're the same dimension, but from our perspective, these two lines are a little closer together and the window's a little smaller because of our alignment. So what we're going to do for our last part of this exercise is practice with these top windows, and then I'll show you a few more examples of how this applies to even balconies or other elements. So with your ruler, I'm going to actually line up my top windows with the sides of my door below. And it's nice because it's like kind of satisfying to see things align. So this is going to be the top window first, and the top edge of that top window will go towards my right side vanishing point. And guys, if you are lost, feel free to just sit and watch for a little while. That's totally fine. You can turn in however far you get with this exercise to earn points for today. But if I'm going too fast, totally fine. Now the bottom edge of that window, I'm going to line up with my right side vanishing point too. I'm going to decide how deep I want that window pane to go in. That goes towards my left side vanishing point. I just aligned with my ruler. For this inner edge here, I'm going to go straight down. But for this top edge that we see from this perspective, will go towards my right side vanishing point. Now if I had any other element in this window happening, it'd go towards my right side vanishing point. And maybe I do some shading for some glass in there. And if I was to do another window, I would probably do these two vertical lines even closer together. But have the top align with the previous window. But in our brain, they're similar in size or scale. But you just do the same method for the next door neighbor window. And so on. So you guys kind of see how that no matter what angle you're looking, kind of down at that doorway and up at those windows, you still kind of go with that system. So in this example, you'll see that I did that for a window down here too, and other windows on the side of this building. We also want to think about applying it if you have an awning or some part of your structure protruding out. I did a little hopscotch board down here, and those principles still apply even from this angle. Looking at other examples that I have, Bricks. Bricks also, just like hallway drawings many of you guys explored, the top and the bottom of the grout between the bricks will then be going towards your vanishing points in each direction, but the grout that's side to side or on the sides will go straight up and down. And if you wanted like a garage door or something, same things apply there. And the last thing I want you guys to add to your exercise is some shading. So as a reminder, if the sunshine is over here, for finishing touches for this, we will then have the light going in this direction. That means our shading will be on the opposite side. So you can use the edge or diagonal tilt of your pencil. Just do a brief sketch shading just to show your understanding of depth. So in your final project, you guys are going to do value, texture, and two-dimensional or two-point perspective techniques to create some type of structure or multiple structures. You can do a cityscape, you can do a castle, design your dream home. But we'll go over criteria of that project tomorrow, along with student examples and what options you have. And of course, you can always use a blending stump anytime for some of those shading effects and any details. So, thank you for participating in this exercise today. That is as far as we are going to get with our class period. And there's your little taster of two-point perspective. Good job, guys.